I was invited to a funeral to play live music. This narration is based by a woman's point of view. Fifth day of the working week at exactly 6 p.m. My cursor is already pointed on the logout button of my virtual Bondi clock. I have approximately 30 minutes to greet my colleagues a happy weekend, get my personal stuff inside my office locker, enter the elevator from the 14th floor, going to the ground floor, swipe my ID, and exit the building. Go across the street, wait for 5 minutes, and then enter a music bar. Will I chill, listen to live music, drink, spend my hard-earned money to relieve me from my work-related stress, since you only live once? Definitely not, but yes, thank God it's Friday. I was given an opportunity by the owner of this bar to hustle. I usually sing here live every Friday from 7 p.m. till 11 p.m., equipped with my own trusty acoustic guitar and karaoke trained voice. Instead of making my love for music as a hobby, I'd rather use it as another source of income. Too many bills to pay, and morally obliged duties like school fees and basic needs of my mom and my younger sibling, who, thank God, will be earning his criminology degree this year. As a sign of gratitude to the owner and build rapport, I always do my best to be punctual, like going 30 minutes prior to my show, a few minutes to personally greet some regulars, since I have already created the following: some light snacks, a 5-minute personal prayer to thank him or her, and some few minutes to set up my show, since I work independently. My current fee is 1,500 pesos, and if it's a good business day, I also receive tips from loyal and generous patrons of this bar. My usual set is comprised of the following. On the first hour, I usually sing romantic hits from the 80s and 90s, while the second hour is for 7 romantic hits from the 2010s up to the trending hits of this present year. The remaining hours of my set are for the requested songs of my audience. This is also my favorite part of the set, since I frequently receive tips from my generous audience. Tonight's business is good, since all seats were occupied, so the bar staff decided to bring out some monoblock chairs for guests who came in the latter hours. The majority of my audience this Friday night are working men and women, so this is an assumption that for every song request, generosity by form of tips will come after. I usually receive some of these requests verbally, like someone will drop a song title after I finish a song, or a staff will personally convey a song request on behalf of a guest. There's also a non-verbal or discreet way of requesting a song, like someone will hand the request written on a piece of paper, like memo pads or at the back of a cigarette foil. This Friday also coincided with salary day for some or majority of employees working near our area. So that's one reason this is a busy Friday night for the employees of this bar, while a good and prosperous gig on my end. Aside from the applause and positive responses from my audience, I also receive a generous amount of tips just on the first hour of the song request segment of my set. A beautiful lady wearing corporate clothes from a group of customers also caught my attention. She's focused and looks amazed every time I sing, another factor to level up my game. After singing a requested song, she stood up, approached me, and handed a letter-sized envelope. The content of that envelope is a folded scented stationery. This is where she wrote her requested song, The Greatest Love of All by Whitney Houston, where it also served to enclose a 1,000 peso bill. Honestly, this is a hard song on my end, but instead of expressing my sincerest apology, as I may not give justice to her requested song, I just express my gratitude to the generous tip and choosing our humble music bar to spend her Friday night. I also told her that I'll do in my best efforts to give justice to her requested song. Thank God, because my rendition of her requested song came out good, due to her positive response and warm applause of my audience. After my set, I went in front of the entrance doors of the bar so I can vape while waiting for my 1,500 pesos payment and hopefully a tip from the owner of the bar, given this is a prosperous business day. Suddenly, someone poked my back. I was startled at first, but surprised after knowing that this is a beautiful and corporate dressed lady who gave me a generous tip. Hi, ma'am. My apology if I startled you. By the way, thank you for spending your Friday night here with your friends. Hope I was able to sing that Whitney Houston song decently. She smiled and told me that I've done a great job, and if her sister was able to watch me nailing that song, she would be very happy because that's her favorite song. I thanked her due to her flattering remark, shook her hand, and politely asked her name. Her name is Lisa, and it's her first time to visit our bar and watch my show. I told her that I usually sing at this bar during Wednesdays and Fridays, and promised that I'll give her a VIP card in her next visit, and hoping that she'll invite her sister in my next gig. Lisa thanked me, but took a deep breath, and slight loneliness can be seen in her eyes. She told me that her sister passed away last week. Oh, my apologies, Lisa. My deepest condolences and sympathy to your bereaved family. Actually, that's the reason why she approached me and asked me if I'm free this coming Sunday. Her family and sister's friends will be very happy if I can sing some tunes at her funeral. I told Lisa that I'll just do some household errands early Sunday morning, but I'm free during early afternoon till evening. She handed me a list of songs that I'll be playing this coming Sunday and 2,500 pesos as a down payment, while I'll just receive the other half at the funeral. She gave me the address of the funeral establishment, and she's hoping that I'll be there at around 7 in the evening. I thank her for the wonderful opportunity and honored to be part of celebrating the wonderful memories of her sister. We also exchanged our mobile numbers before we bid our goodbyes. Honestly, the reason why I grabbed this opportunity, aside from the generous payment, I can control my infatuation to Lisa. So it's tough luck if she's single and open to having a relationship with a femme lesbian like me. Albeit, it will take approximately an hour and a half to commute from my home to the funeral establishment. I left my house at exactly 4:30 p.m. and it took me an hour to commute to Quezon Avenue. This is where the funeral establishment is located. Though there were a number of mortuaries located in this place, and most of its names seem identical, like St. John Funeral Parlor, Chapel of St. John. So I got confused and didn't know which of these funeral parlors is Lisa pertaining to. I forgot to ask for a landmark. Since I still got an hour to kill, I went to a nearby cafe. I ordered their strongest coffee and a slice of apple pie. Went to the alfresco so I can have a decent phone signal and be for a while. Texted Lisa and told her that I'm already here in Quezon Avenue, but not that sure. Which of these mortuaries should I go to? And it's not daunting to her. Hope we can possibly meet at this cafe. Though I got a slight regret when I sent the message. Just a random memory. Don't ever ask a family member or relative of the deceased to fetch you so you can go together to the funeral. It's a Filipino superstition thing. While I was busy eating my pie and sipping coffee, I was surprised because Lisa was standing in front of me. I almost spit out my coffee. I didn't recognize her at first because of the clothes she's wearing, plain white shirt and jeans, while standing in her flip flops. A far contrast the first time I met her. Shit. My god, I'm sorry, Lisa. I didn't notice you, like you teleported or something. My apology also for the convenience, since I might mistakenly go to a different funeral parlor. The names of these mortuaries seem identical, like they have one patron saint for this nature of business. Lisa just nodded and smiled, though it's an obvious gesture that I need to stand up so we can leave the cafe. I didn't bother to approach any staff member of the cafe to pack my half eaten pie and ask for a coffee cup lid so I can bring my leftovers with me. We've crossed the opposite street, and while walking, I noticed that Lisa had been covering the tip of her lip with a handkerchief. It seems an abrasion, or worse, a cold sore due to herpes or something. So I didn't bother asking her, just to avoid unintentional personal questions that might end to an awkward situation. I'm just here for business. When we're at the funeral establishment, I noticed there's some tension in front of the entrance doors, where the remains of Lisa's sister are located. There's a woman who is angry and shouting at two people, which I assume are a married couple in their late 50s. The angry woman told them that her niece died because of their son. Lisa just told me to ignore it, and afterward, she pointed me to her mother, who at that time is conversing with her guests. I was informed by Lisa to approach her mom and tell her that I'm the singer who was hired by her daughter. Lisa excused herself and told me that she'll just go downstairs to smoke. I told her to go ahead, even though I don't have a vivid memory that she lighted or even held a cig when she went to the bar last Friday night. I was able to sing 10 songs during the program, which served as a tribute to Lisa's sister, named Liza. The program lasted for roughly 3 hours, due to the eulogy provided by the former's friends, relatives, and parents. The tribute came out good and emotional, though the cause of death of Liza was not mentioned during the program, nor I overheard from the conversation of the morning guests. I also noticed that Lisa hasn't come back from her cigarette break, and it's quite awkward for me to approach her mom so I can collect the remaining payment. While waiting for Lisa, I decided to approach her sister's elegant casket to offer a prayer, in my way to express my respect to the former, and more likely, to my curiosity also, since no pictures of Liza were displayed during the week, though they've done their best efforts to connect a laptop to the projector, which I presume is to show some picture slides or documented memories of Liza. However, due to time constraints, they weren't able to fix the connection prior to the start of the program. Lisa's mom was also standing in front of the casket, tears flowing from her eyes, dropping on the glass window part of the casket, where her right palm was also placed. I approached the bereaved mother and expressed my deepest condolences. Good evening, ma'am. My deepest condolences to you and your family. Lisa's mom thanked me and told me that my voice is beautiful. And if in case her daughter is alive and hear me sing, she would be very happy. I thanked her for the flattering gesture, and afterward, I went near to the casket to see her daughter. What the? Lisa? I felt every hair on my skin stood up, like as I suffered from a heart attack. Shocked at what I saw, Lisa, the girl I met last Friday and accompanied me to this wake, is inside the casket, pale and lifeless. The amount of makeup wasn't able to fully cover the bruise on the tip of her lip. Did my best to control and suppress any hysterical emotions until Lisa's mom held my right shoulder and told me in her calm voice that Liza is Lisa's identical twin. Bad day also for not bringing my asthma spray. I felt some weight on my head until a familiar face approached us. Lisa? However, it worsened even though the rational answer for unexpected shock and fear is standing in front of me. Though it added confusion on my end, given she's wearing corporate clothes, or the same attire the first time I met her. She apologized, since she wasn't able to reply to my text message, and meet me at the cafe. She also explained that it's a bad omen if in case a relative or someone from the family of the deceased will fetch a guest in order to go together to a wake or funeral. After expressing her apology, I felt my hearing was turned off, like a pair of plugs placed inside my ears. Confusion and fear are the two emotions that I felt that night. A question left unanswered: who or what fetched and accompanied me to this funeral? Suddenly, I felt nauseous and dizzy, and then all went black. I woke up inside the family room of the funeral home while I laid on a folding bed, while Lisa's mom is waving a folding fan in front of my face. Lisa and her mom asked me if I'm okay. I felt embarrassed, so I just told them that's maybe due to lack of sleep, why I collapsed a while ago. Though I'm not that sure, regard to what I've experienced, if it's beyond rationality or outside the realm of the explainable, or just a sick practical joke orchestrated by Lisa and her mom. I didn't bother knowing for a possible answer, and just collected my remaining bounty. I just went here to play and hustle.